What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Sideline Summit. I'm joined by my co host, Daniel Cole, UPenn's finest. I'm Antonio Perez. We got a great episode for you guys today. We're going to talk some Super Bowl review, just a little bit. You've probably heard a lot of it, and you probably have all your opinions, but we're still going to share ours. And we're also going to talk some NBA award predictions, though. That should be fun. Hope you guys are ready for some Rudy Gobert slander because that is my absolute favorite. And then we're going to answer some questions you guys asked us on Instagram, which you guys have been showing so much love on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere, basically. Keep up the love. We really appreciate it. Helping us grow this platform is really important to us. And we're just going to keep giving you guys good content to follow. Before we get into our first topic, Danny, how are you doing today?
Yeah, doing really good. There's a lot of Super Bowl action to recap. The trade deadline was a lot, and we can even dive deep into our award predictions.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of good stuff, a lot of good questions, especially from one of my friends who sent a pretty personal question about a certain wide receiver, Icelander. But we'll get into that later. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna hop into the Super Bowl review. Danny, I'll let you take the stage first. What are some things you noticed about the game? What did you like? Uh, yeah, let's just give me your opinions on the game. Some things that stand out.
Yeah, going into the game, it was really Jalen Ramsey versus Jamar Chase, and I think that tuned into what was really expected to be that great matchup, and it really played out to be. But I think Jamar Chase got the win here, and I don't know what your opinion is, but Jamar Chase owned Ramsey. I mean, Ramsey got cooked illegally, yes, by T. Higgins for that touchdown. So I don't count that. But I think Jamar Chase really got the best of Ramsey throughout the game.
Yeah, I do think Jamar Chase played really well. He had that amazing one-handed catch near the beginning of the game, and then he had in the last play of the game, he did have Ramsey burnt. Ramsey fell down, but obviously Burrow had no time. Jamar Chase played really well, and he's one of the 5 best receivers in football. I've been saying it. One of the guys I follow on Instagram, he used to be my coach. Shout out Lamar Shaw. He says he's the best in the league. He says he's the best to ever do it. And if he's called it before anyone else, then that man needs to give me a lottery ticket. But yeah, he played amazing. I think Burrow played okay. No, I lied. I think he played good. I think he played some good football. But a lot of things went his way just for them to still lose. And him,
There's
he didn't even go into the blue tent. He, said no, I'm not getting my knee checked. I'm going out there. I'm playing. And speaking of knee injuries, Odell, my guy, he's the reason I wanted the Rams to win. And he was on an MVP, Super Bowl MVP pace, I believe. He had 52 yards, I believe, before he got hurt and a touchdown. Um,
he
yeah,
would have
man.
won. He would have
And
won
that
MVP.
thinks, yeah, I agree. And I think that kind of ruined things for the Rams for a little bit because, they allowed it to put more pressure on Cup, and it kind of just Van Jefferson wasn't taking advantage of his one-on-ones when I thought he would have. I really thought he would have this game because Odell could have really spread out the field for them. Um, but shout out to all of them. Of course, Aaron Donald played a great second half to help them propel to victory.
Yeah, after
But
he
I
knocked
have
for that sack, that kind of ignited a fire in his soul. He was like, "Yeah, y'all not playing with me. I'm going to get Burrow on the ground another 3 times."
yeah,
Which
that's a good point, man.
he,
He did play
he
really
called
well.
game.
One thing I actually got texted about today, by our guy Vinton. He said talk about how the running back did not die for the ball in that last play of the game, and I don't know if it was catchable, but lay out, at least try. Like, I don't know. Obviously, the first guy you want to be mad at is the offensive coordinator for lining up Aaron Donald getting Aaron Donald a 1-on-1 lineup.
Well, it
Uh,
wasn't. That's not the problem. He wasn't 1-on-1. So the left
he
guard
was
had
he
the
went
left guard
outside
had
of the
help.
guard, and the guard didn't like get. I don't know. I guess you do got a point, but
I think it was the guard's fault. I think the guard misaligned, and Donald just said, "I'm going to beat you to the outside. I'm going to win this the game."
every time,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
you just can't
But prayers
stop
up.
a player like that. Aaron Donald, T.J. Watt, Miles Garrett. Those are three names that when you're trying to block them, you better bring two guys because they're not going to be able to get blocked.
Yeah, prayers up to Odell. Hopefully Joe Burrow's okay. You do not want to see a guy, get injured last, and he's stuck in there. So I'm hoping that's a good thing. But just three quick takeaways that I would like to put out there. Cooper Kupp is indeed top 5 after further review. I think he's better than. I think his production alone, I think puts him up there for me. I've seen enough. I think he's top 5, maybe 4 or 5. I haven't really really like gone over it, but yeah, he's up there. Jesse Bates is top 3, and I still think Ramsey is the best in the game. So yeah, I wouldn't take too much of this game. Like, I take it with not a grain of salt. Like, it just shows how good Jamar Chase is, but you know the guy's still the best. He's not burnt toast like the other corner on the
Like
other
Eli
side.
Apple. Yeah.
Yeah,
But what I will
baked
say,
apples.
I'll give me one takeaway from this game. People are going to say Matthew Stafford had 2 interceptions. He didn't play as good as he could have. The first interception was a deep prayer on 3rd down and long, which didn't matter. And the other interception was not his fault because the receiver straight up just dropped the ball. Matthew Stafford played damn near close to perfect.
I'd be lying if I knew number 18's name, but I will know it when he's working at my local McDonald's next year. I will
Yeah,
for sure.
Skoronik, something like that. Yeah, he's
I
like
don't know. I thought it was
wannabe
Cooper Kupp like 8 times.
wannabe Cooper Kupp. That's all he
Definitely.
is.
We're gonna get into one of our longer segments right now. We're gonna get into our NBA award predictions, and obviously, we're gonna start with the MVP. Danny, I'll let you go first again.
I know you might not like this. I know a lot of people are gonna like this, but I gotta go MVP. Embiid has been on a tear before the All-Star break. He put up what? The most 30-point games in a row in Philadelphia history. And you can just tell that team is completely different without him on the floor. And that's why Philly went and got him James Harden. Because getting him an all-star like James Harden before the all-star break, let them go on a run together, it's going to be a fun ride down the line.
The MVP award is obviously funny because everyone's like, "Oh, is it really most valuable? It's really best player that season." I'm gonna go with a guy who's both, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is the most valuable guy in the league to his team's success, and I believe he's the best player in basketball this year. I'm usually a Kevin Durant guy, um, but yeah, I think he's been the best in basketball this year. Obviously, he's gonna get some voter fatigue. Already the two-time Finals MVP or two-time MVP, Finals MVP last year. And honestly, if he wins the MVP this year and has a Finals MVP, that's a really good run. And here is my girlfriend Madison walking in on the best question possible. Madison, who is the NBA MVP so far this year?
Jimmy Butler.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Jimmy Butler is going to be the 2022 Kia MVP after the Heat lock up the 1 seed, and he carries the Heat to the playoffs. And was actually, if this was the first like 20 games of the season, it's definitely not a bad take. He was off to a hot start, and then played, had to sit out maybe some games, and the Heat kind of fell off, but they're back up 1 seed. They're ready to roll into the playoffs.
Butler currently has 15,000 odds for MVP. So if that becomes true, you are going to be a very rich man.
Yeah, well, I might put $10 on it.
You'd make 15,000, I believe. So
yeah, so you got Embiid, I got Giannis, two foreign guys along with Jokic. He's my second, but it's really an international game. It's a beautiful thing. Moving on to Depoy, defensive player of the year. This is really tough because I think it should be broken up into guards and forwards or guards and bigs because they have to do two different things unless you're Joel Embiid. And you can guard the rim and you can walk out with almost any guard in the league. He is my pick for defensive player of the year. And he won't get a lot of love because he's going to get MVP love. And unless you're Giannis, you're not getting both. But I like Joel Embiid for Defensive Player of the Year. And if
Yeah,
I
I think
could,
there's a lot of guys you
and
can go with.
sorry, just one more thing. If I had to pick anyone else besides Embiid, I'm picking his teammate. I'm picking Matisse Thybulle. That dude straps up. Best wing defender in the NBA.
History. The
History
history of
round
it.
that. I don't know about that, but yeah. Who's your depoy,
Yeah.
Danny? Come on,
So
talk
my
to us.
depoy right now, I think Embiid gets MVP. Giannis gets depoy. He's gonna get one of the two. I think it's hard not to choose a player like Draymond or Rudy Gobert as depoy because they just play so well on defense and they strap up. But I gotta go with Giannis.
Okay, now that's who we think. That's who we both think will win. Who do you think the league will pick? Who do you think the league will pick? This is the only award we'll do this for, but who do you think the league will pick?
I think the league goes with Giannis.
Okay. I think the
How
league
about
goes
you?
with Crybaby Gobert, COVID Gobert.
Let me touch the mic.
Yeah. But moving on, we're gonna go to Rookie of the Year. This one's a good one. It's been changing all year, depending on just who's been hot. One thing I've noticed is Josh Giddey has not moved from the 4 spot like ever. It's like he's a good rookie and he's probably one of the most consistent, but he's not like playing like lights out. But he's amazing. Like I think he could pan out really well. He's good all around game for someone who apparently was not good at basketball according to a scouting report. But my rookie of the year, I'm gonna go with Evan Mobley. He's been the huge piece on the, I believe, 2 or 3 seeded Cavs right now. Him and Jared Allen are a stifling duo inside the paint, and they cause havoc unless you're Joel Embiid. But I'm gonna go with Evan Mobley. Who do you got?
Yeah, I think it's really hard not to say Evan Mobley right now, just because he's been playing such a high level. I'm gonna go with a stunner and say Scotty Barnes, and I think Cade Cunningham's gonna
Mm,
make that end of the season push, but I don't think he's gonna be healthy long enough to win the Rookie of the Year. But I think Scotty Barnes is gonna lead Toronto to a 3 seed and win that Rookie of the Year.
3 seed. That's as bold as it gets, and I like that because they're getting really hot. Scotty Barnes has been a huge piece for them, and I really do like him. But if you're telling me the Raptors going to be the 3 seed, I'll assume the Celtics are the 1 seed. Because we're on that 8 gamer, and we got Derek White, and we've been playing ball. And this episode will be dropping tomorrow. We're recording it on Monday. So if this drops on 12 and I say the Celtics are balling and we lose to the Sixers tomorrow night, I'm going to look really dumb. So please don't clip this if you're watching. That'd be really unfortunate.
Yeah, the Sixers might have to end that Celtics winning streak, but you never know.
Wrong. Very wrong. I think Tatum goes for 30 and 10 again. Jaylen Brown goes for 25. Derek White masterclass. All around game. Embiid still gets 40 and 20, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, we're going to ball for sure. Moving on. I'm going to let you get this next one first. Who do you got for most improved this year?
Most improved is really a hard choice every year. The odds are favoring John Morant. You got Miles Bridges and Darius Garland following behind. But I don't know, John Morant's improved so much, but he's already been playing at that high level the last couple of years. But then you got Darius Garland, who we really haven't seen like
Yeah,
play,
like
right?
did he get better because he got a bigger role? Did he get better just because it's his he's gotten older a little bit? It is really tough, and I really don't like this award. Uh, I think the
So
NFL is shifting in the
subjective, yeah.
direction. NFL is shifting in the direction where they need a most improved and not a comeback player of the year because due to Alex Smith, it's more like who had the worst injury, but it shouldn't really be like that. And then in the NBA, it shouldn't be like maybe they need a comeback player of the year type of thing. Maybe I don't know, or maybe it'll probably end
But
up being the same way.
I
But
think the NBA should have an offensive player of the year award.
yeah, because honestly, I think Jokic might win it every time. But I don't. Is he MVP? Because a lot of people, you could pull up some advanced stats and maybe he's good on defense. But
No, because you could have some like Bradley Beal could be in the case every year to win offensive player of the year. He just doesn't play defense that well. So
Bradley Beal stinks.
Yeah, this is an aside from what we are talking about most players of the year. I think that John Morant probably will win most improved player of the year. But my choice is going to be Darius Garland.
Yeah, I like Darius Garland, man. I liked him coming out. He didn't have a lot of games in college, so I thought maybe it was going to be rough for him. But he's one of the best shooters I've ever seen coming out. Um, if I had to go with someone, I'm gonna go with Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is he's probably the two, but he's arguably the best player on a team that's fighting for the play-in. That doesn't sound like a lot, but still, he's really crafted his game. His game is much better than what it used to be. He's not just some freak athlete now. He's got kind of a bag, and he's a great defender. I don't think a lot of people realize that he's a really good defender. Um,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
elite.
that's my pick for sure.
All right, moving on. I think we'll go right into Six Man of the Year awards. I think it's not really a question. Uh, Going down to South Beach, Tyler Hero's got to be the
No limit
pick for
hero.
this.
No limit hero. Tyler Hero is for certainly six man of the year, 2020 White Boy of the Year. He earned that when he dropped 38 on my Celtics in the bubble, and then he passed it to his man. He passed it to his guy, Jack Harlow, the next year. And speaking, while we're on the topic of White Boy of the Year, Cooper Cup has robbed. He's stolen it from Joe Burrow after last night's performance. But yeah, Maddie's in the background pumping her fist because she loves Jack Harlow, and he is certainly he might get he could win White Boy of the Month after he drops a song this Friday. But yeah, I look forward to it. I do. What's our next
Yeah,
award? Since we don't seem to disagree on that too much, Coach of the Year.
yeah. Our last award is Coach of the Year, and I really think it's an award that goes down to the coach that has won the most games at the end of the year, and the coach that really showed how good he is in the playoffs when he turned to his stars and Chris Paul and Devin Booker and really led a team to the finals. I think Monty Williams is really got to be favored after doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job. And Chris Paul, obviously, his leadership sometimes gets overrated, but yeah, he's done a really good job. He's finally put a good offense around Devin Booker. He's put some good players around Devin Booker, sets him up really nice. Um, I think it's kind of it might be end up being unanimous really. But a couple coaches I think that are still in the running. Nick Nurse, he this Raptors team is so ahead of schedule because him and Siakam and Van Vliet are, guys who've been to a championship and they know what it takes. They know we don't got to tank. We can just ball. We can do what we do. Another coach I like, Eric Spoelstra. He's always in the running. He's such a good coach. He always has been. He's one of the only teams I know who can send out a 2-3 defense and shut someone down. They can send out a high school defense and shut someone down.
Yeah, they got that 1-3-1 box type defense sometimes.
Yeah, it's strapped Tatum in the playoffs before. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, you never know. It's simple defense sometimes locks it down, but I
Now the
think that
last
wraps up
one.
the. Is there another award?
No, no, no. I just want to talk just NBA first team. That's all. But the thing that might bother me, it usually goes guard, guard, forward, forward, and I believe only one center makes the first and second teams.
I mean, unless you
How?
can consider one center to a forward.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know how. I forget how they do it, but I think this was a problem last year because if they rob one of those centers of an All NBA first team, that's brutal, man. That is so brutal. I think first team is probably going to be maybe. I'm going to go John Morant. I'll go John Morant over Curry just because he's been such a bad slump. I don't know if he's out of the slump yet. I cannot lie to you, but I'm still going to go John Morant because I'm biased. I'm going to go Devin Booker, and I'd probably go Giannis. This is going to be a kind of tall All NBA team. If only one center can make it, I'm picking Jokic. I'll pick Jokic. They're the same rank. He's in the West. The East has been difficult this year, but I still think with all the injuries he's had on his team, to be this good and in a comfortable situation. He's probably ducking the play-in, and he's gonna, probably he's in a position maybe he can host a home playoff series. And then at 4, I'll probably have Kevin Durant because yeah. But if it's
Yeah,
two centers allowed, they both are making it.
I'll run right through. I'll have Steph Curry at my guard spot. I think he reclaims it after the break. I think he always gets better.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'll rock with Devin Booker. I think that's pretty unanimous. I'll rock with Kevin Durant and Giannis at my forwards, and then I'll finish it off with Embiid as he solidifies his MVP case.
I like it. I like it. Moving on, we're answering some questions you guys asked us on Instagram. I'm gonna pull that. I'll pull it up now. I think I can think of some off the top of my head, but I like to look at it. Got them now. All right. One of the first questions we got this twice actually. Are the Sixers championship contenders? Well, one of them says, are they contenders? And one says, are they now contenders? So I'm going to answer before and after the trade. Before the trade, yes. After the trade, yes. To keep it short. What are your thoughts on it?
Immediately, here's my thoughts. If James Harden doesn't sign long-term, this really is a bad move for the Sixers.
Well, he's at least playing next year, but I assume they mean contenders for this year.
He's an expiring contract with a player option. So as long as he wants to stay in Philly.
I think he is picking up the option because I doubt he's landing a better contract than what he's got now. Knowing people will see a slight decline, he still, does his thing every now and then. Yeah, they're contenders. They were contenders before the trade, after the trade. Their odds have only gotten better. The more I think about it, I love this fit. I love Harden's going to take he's always wanted to take a back seat to somebody because I think he knows his style of play isn't sustainable. But if he can play the guard role with Embiid, I think this is just going to be great. This could really run through the East until they meet those Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum. It's unfortunate.
I think this is really setting up for a second round playoff, Sixers versus Nets. And it's going to be
That'd be
crazy
lovely.
one.
I would love it. I would love every second of it. All right, next question I got was
Ben Simmons comes back to Philadelphia. Expect all of the shirts with Ben Simmons' face on it, burning his jerseys. You're going to throw stuff at him. Ben Simmons is going to get slandered in Philadelphia.
Ben's going to shoot 50% from 3 in that series.
He probably will.
All right, moving on to the next question. This is one from my guy, Drew. He's one of my gym buddies. He says, why do I slander DK Metcalf so much? I slander DK Metcalf because he's one of the most gifted athletes to ever walk into the NFL and does absolutely nothing with it. He is maybe a top 15 receiver. Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, your answer to why I slander DK is he doesn't take advantage of his physically gifted tools. Danny, you're kind of on the same boat as DK as I am. So what are your thoughts on him?
I think DK is a borderline top 10 receiver. I think there's too many talents who are using their athleticism in the NFL right now. And I'm going to go with the bold take and say Deontay Johnson is a better receiver right now than DK Metcalf, and he will always be going forward.
Not bold, common knowledge if you're not a casual.
And all those people saying Terry McLaurin better than DK a couple of years ago will really look like geniuses.
Yeah, low key, but at the time he wasn't. I don't think he was, but now I think he is. Moving on, this is kind of a 2-in-1 question by my guy Jacob. He said, "Is Joe Burrow better than Justin Herbert, and what's Herbert's ceiling?" To answer, I don't think Burrow is better than Herbert. Herbert, I think, is generational. I think this kid is
why?
His ceiling's Hall of Famer, multiple MVPs.
You want to know what his ceiling is? His ceiling is the greatest quarterback of all time.
You think so? Wow. It's hard for me to give him that considering I think that's Mahomes' ceiling. And to give that to two different quarterbacks in the same era is a little rough. But, to say it's not out the question.
Two quarterbacks who can put the ball on exactly where they want. They're going to be in the same division for the next, 15 years probably.
Probably, yeah, 15 years.
Herbert can throw the ball as far as he wants, just like Patrick Mahomes. And he's been doing it with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. He doesn't have Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have Travis Kelce.
Yeah, they should land someone big in this draft, definitely, to help Herbert out. But I don't know. It's hard. He's made it work with the weapons, but you should really up his line. You could really get better on defense, like really bad. You can't run it back with Tillery at D line. You really can't do it, man. He's
Jordan
terrible.
Jordan Davis is their ideal pick here. You can get a D tackle that can really widen their front and make them kind of contenders. I like that pick.
Or they trade up, get Hutchinson, and then they have the greatest safety duo of all time with him and Derwin James.
Oh, Kyle Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Kyle
Well,
Hamilton and Derwin James would be
Herbert,
absurd.
I can't give a player comp. I won't give a player comp because at the end of his career, people are just going to compare the next quarterback to Justin Herbert. Player comp, but his I think he Hall of Famer, first ballot, multiple time MVP, maybe a couple Super Bowls. I do question whether he'll get a Super Bowl because the Chargers are a shit organization. But yeah, I'm huge on Herbert. Also huge on Burrow. Like Burrow could easily be first ballot Hall of Famer, multiple time MVP. I just think Herbert's got a better shot at it.
I was talking today. This is my take of the century. The Bengals will not win the AFC North next year, and the Bengals will be third in that division. The Bengals are really going to take a step back next year and fall back to reality. They're not going to be what people think they were. Joe Burrow is not going to have – he's going to get figured out because they're going to start dropping safeties over top for these deep balls. And guess what? Joe Burrow is going to say, oh, I need time to throw these deep balls, and they're going to get pass rush right to the quarterback. He can't escape sacks 9 times a game to win football games consistently. Not going to happen.
No, I definitely feel you. So if they're finishing third, does that mean it's Steelers Ravens ahead of them? I know you're a Steelers fan, and you're usually pretty optimistic, and for good reason about the Steelers because of Mike Tomlin and all of them. Or do you think it's Browns Ravens? Do you think Baker maybe has a bounce back year? Because that's still a talented team. It's just you got the guy from the Hulu commercials as your quarterback. So
I think it's really slept on. I think the Browns have the most talent out of all of those teams in that division. They just need to put it all together. If Baker puts a good season together, honestly, he could put a season that Joe Burrow put this year and become the poster boy. If all Baker needs to do is 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, like Joe Burrow did. And I think the Browns will easily be in the AFC Conference Championship because they have some really young corners that really can get it done. They have Clowney and Garrett. They have a young budding linebacker in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. They have 2 good safeties in John Johnson and Rodney Harrison. They're really stacked, and they have the best, arguably the best running back in the NFL. You get a receiver, you get them some O-line help. Actually, they don't even need O-line help. You get Baker 2 receivers in the draft, which is a really loaded receiver draft. And the Browns really turned this organization around. I think they had a bad year because Baker had a torn labrum. But I think the Browns really can turn it around. And it might be Ravens, Browns. I can see the Bengals finishing last again.
World-renowned Steelers fan Danny Cole just gives the Cleveland Browns the keys to the Super Bowl. Moving on to our next question. We're going to keep this one short, but I do want to talk about it. Was Stafford's no look better than Mahomes? I think in terms of situation, I think in terms of I've seen it live. I think Stafford's got it. He threw it right by Von Bell. One piece of the probably the second best safety tandem in the league. No look that he was staring down, I believe. I don't remember he was staring. He might have been staring down number 18,
staring down
future McDonald's worker.
I think Bryson Hopkins, the tight end that's filling in for.
Yeah, he was staring him down. Hits cup. It was beautiful. I think it was better than Mahomes.
On the money drive. Let's not talk about that. That's the best throw of the year. That's on the money drive to win the game.
Yeah. Oh my God, in the clutch. All right, we got one more question. Who won the Simmons Harden trade? Try to keep this short and sweet because it really depends. I think nobody lost. If I had to give a winner, Philadelphia 76ers. They got their guy for not as much as they had to give. That maybe I think they could have got back a Patty Mills, but you got James Harden. You didn't have to give up Maxey Thibault. You got Embiid, probably the best player he's ever going to play with. It's win now. It really is.
I mean, as a Sixers fan, you don't want to give up Drummond or Curry, but you also retained Maxey, right? We retained Maxey. and we have Bassey coming up who can play the center role that Drummond did. The backup center is not hard to replace, especially someone who can just grab boards. We had Dwight Howard last year. We don't need someone who can come off the bench and score 30. Bassey should have the opportunity to fill that role. And I think this allows the Sixers to win the trade, creating probably a big three, if you want to talk about it in the next couple of years. Maxey, Embiid, Harden. And you can even call Tobias Harris a fourth piece. If you give Tobias Harris the fourth scoring option on offense, that gets scary because he's a really good scorer.
He's an inconsistent scorer, but when he gets going, he really does get coded. But the main reason I believe the Sixers won this trade is because they now headline the greatest. They could headline the greatest for in-game phrase. You know, you could pass it out hard to the max. I know all Sixers fans are probably hard to the max after this trade. So hard and Maxey.
Hard to the max because they got processed.
Yeah. Hard to the max because you got processed. That's super dope right there. Well, I think that's all the content we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be back on a normal schedule. We'll most likely be posting videos every Wednesday and Sunday from here on out. So you guys get 2 videos a week. You'll also be getting side videos on, like we could do individuals. We might do little small talks between the week on different days. Make sure you go check out my personal channel too. I dropped a video yesterday about NBA trade line. What some teams should have done and maybe some teams should have held back. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, keep showing love on all social medias. If you're on Spotify right now, make sure you follow, give a 5-star rating. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure you're downloading. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like. Help us grow this podcast on all platforms. We really do appreciate it. Danny, anything for the listeners before we go?
Yeah, make sure you stay engaged with our TikTok. Our TikTok's really going to have some more daily content you can engage with. And it's really going to be some more individualized personal content you can engage with.
Yeah, man, we got some. We'll soon be having some NFL draft stuff coming up. As the season just winded down yesterday. But thank you all for listening in, and we all hope you have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Peace.